Question number 1 says Basma owns a toy shop. The sign shows the opening hours for the shop. Saturday to Wednesday, the shop is open from 10:30 to 18. On Thursday and Friday, the shop is open from 10 to 19:30. Work out the length of time the shop is open in 1 week. So over here, from 10:30 to 12, it takes us 1.5 hours. Then from 12 to 18, that's a total of 6 hours. So that's 7.5 hours. From 10 to 12, it's going to be 2 hours. Then from 12 to 19:30, it's going to be 7.5 hours. So that's going to be a total of 9.5 hours. So this is on Thursday and Friday. So for Thursday, it's 9.5, and then plus Friday, it's going to be another 9.5. So that gives us a total of 19 hours for Thursday and Friday. Then for Saturday to Wednesday, we have how many days? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. So that means we multiply 7.5 by 5. So 7.5 times 5 is going to give us 37.5 hours. So total hours are going to be 37.5 plus 19, which is going to give us 56.5 hours. That's your answer. Then busman plus 5 sales assistants and 2 supervisors. On one particular week, the 5 sales assistants each worked for 30 hours and the 2 supervisors each worked for 38 hours. For that week, the total amount she pays the 7 employees is $3,324.70. Basma pays each sales assistant $13.45 per hour. Calculate the amount she pays each supervisor per hour. So let's first assign the amount paid to each sales assistant, the variable X, and the amount paid to each supervisor is the variable Y. So if 5 sales assistants each work for 30 hours, so that means the total amount of time that they're working for is 5 times 30, which is 150. So 150x plus then the total amount of time that is given by supervisors for working, that's 2 times 38, which is 76. So that's 76y equals to 3,324.70. So for the sales assistant, she's paying $13.45 per hour. So 150 times 13.45 plus 76y equals to 3,324.70. So let's expand the bracket. 150 times 13.45, that's 2,017.5 plus 76y equals to 3,324.70. Subtract the two. So it's going to be 3,324.70 minus 2,017.5, which is going to give us 1,307.2 divided by 76. And that would give us the amount that each supervisor is being paid, which is $17.2. That is your final answer. So remember, you're making this equation, which is for the total amount that Basma is paying the employees. We have 5 sales assistants and 2 supervisors. So first we calculate the total time that the sales assistants and the supervisors are working for. Then we times that by the amount that they're paid for each hour. And that being added gives us the total amount that she pays, which is $3,324.70. So using that, we have already been told that each sales assistant is being paid $13.45 per hour. So now there's only one unknown variable, which is y. So we just solve this multi-step linear equation and find the value of y, which is $17.2. Then says the exchange rate between dollars and pounds is that $1 equals to 0.77 pounds. Basma buys 50 identical games for a total of 245 pounds. She makes a profit of 39% when she sells each game. Calculate the selling price of one game in dollars, giving the answer correct to the nearest cent. So if $1 equals to 0.77 pounds, and she's buying 5 identical games for a total of 245 pounds. So let's find this amount in dollars. So 245 in dollars would be 245 divided by 0.77, which is going to give us $318.18. This is the price for 50 identical games in dollars. Then she makes a profit of 39% when she sells each game. So if this is the cost for 50 games, let's find the cost for one game. So one game in dollars is going to be 318.18 divided by 50. That's $6.36. Now to find the selling price, profit is 39%. So let's find the profit that she's earned, which is going to be 39% of 6.36. So that is going to give us $2.48. So selling price is going to be profit plus cost. Profit is 2.48. Cost is 6.36. So this adds up to $8.84. So this is your answer correct to the nearest cent. Then says she invests $12,000 in an account paying compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per year. At the end of year one, she invests another $12,000 in the same account. At the end of year four, she takes $20,000 out of the account. Calculate the amount of money remaining in the account at the end of year four. Give your answer correct to the nearest cent. So she's investing $12,000 compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per year. So let's first find for the first year. At the end of year one, she invests another $12,000 in the same account. At the end of year four, she takes $20,000 out of the account. So you have to calculate the amount of money in the account at the end of 4 years. So first, I'm going to find the compound interest at the end of first year. So that's going to be 12,000 times 1 plus 1.5 over 100 to the power of 1. That's going to give us 12,180. Now this is first year. At the end of the first year, now she invested 12,000 on the same account. So it's going to be 12,000 plus 12,180. That's going to be 24,180. This is at the end of year one. So that means year two would be 24,180 times 1 plus 1.5 over 100 whole power 3, because it's for the next 3 years now. So that is going to give us 1.5 divided by 100 plus 1 raised to the power of 3 times 24,180. That's $25,284.50. At the end of year four, she takes 20,000 out of the account. So end of year four. So that's going to be 25,284.50 minus 20,000. That's going to be $5,284.50. That's the amount that we're left with at the end of year 4. Then it says the traffic serve information about the vehicles passing the checkpoint is recorded. 160 vehicles pass the checkpoint in the morning. The table shows the number of people in each of these vehicles. So we have 1 people, 2 people, and 3 or more. And the corresponding frequency is 72, 48, and 40. They want us to complete the table where we have to find the pie chart angles for number of people, which is 1 and 2. So what we do is we find the total frequency first. So total frequency is going to be 72 plus 48 plus 40, which is going to give us 160. So for the first row, we're going to do 72 divided by 160 times by 360 because we're trying to find the angle for this category on the pie chart. So 72 times 360 divided by 160 is 162. And then we do 48 over 160 times 360, which is going to give us 108 degrees. So these are the 2 angles for the pie chart. Then it's saying complete the pie chart to show the results. So to do that, what you will do is you will take your protractor, you will measure the angle from this point, you will put your protractor over and you will see where 162 or 108 comes. So you will mark that angle. Approximately, it's going to come somewhere over here. But that's an approximation. You have to draw it accurately using a protractor. And once you've marked your angle and drawn your lines, you will divide the pie chart into 2 more sections. So this is for 1 and this is for 2. We'll mark your angle as well. This is going to be 162 degrees. This is going to be 108 degrees and this is your 90 degrees. So that's how you complete your pie chart. Remember, you have to use a protractor. You're not going to do it just like by guessing and be like, oh, so this is where the angle will come. You're going to check where your angle is and if it's correct. So use your protractor for this question. Then it says the histogram shows the speeds of vehicles passing the checkpoint in the afternoon. So on the y-axis, we have the frequency density. On the x-axis, we have the speed in kilometers per hour. Sanjay says the histogram shows that the range of the speeds is 50 kilometers per hour. Explain why he may not be correct. So for the range of the speeds, if we notice that this is group data, we don't have like exact values, like, that how many people were like at the speed of 20, 30 or so on. It's an interval. It's a class interval. We have the number of people who are between 20 to 30, not exactly 20. Then we have the number of people between 30 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, and so on. So he cannot say that the range is 50 because we don't know what the smallest value is. It can be, more than 20 as well. It can be 22 or 21. And we don't know what the greatest value is. It's not necessary that it has to be, 17. So group data doesn't show exact values. Hence, the range can be different. What he did, he saw that, okay, 20 is the lowest and 70 is the highest. So range is maximum minus minimum. That is correct. But you can only do that when they have given you exact values of the speed, not like group data like this. Then it says complete the frequency table. So now we're going to find the frequency values using the frequency density values in the histogram. So frequency density basically has the formula of frequency over class width. So as you can see, we have the frequency density for each bar and we have the class width as well. So looking at the table, they already did the first one. So now we move on to the second one, which is from 30 to 40. So from 30 to 40, our frequency density is going to be 4.6. 4.6 equals to frequency over class width is the difference between the intervals. So 40 minus 30 is 10. So 4.6 times 10 is the frequency, which is 46. So this is for the first one. Then between 40 to 45, it's 8.8. So that's going to be 8.8 equals to frequency over 5 because the interval is between 40 to 45. So we do 8.8 times 5, which is going to give us 44. So that's the frequency for this part. Then for this, it's going to be 7.6. 7.6 equals to frequency over, again, 5 because it's between 45 to 50. So 7.6 times 5, 38. Lastly, for this, it's between, it's 1.4. Yeah. So for 1.4, the interval is 20. So 1.4 equals to f over 20. 1.4 times 20, which is going to give us 28. So these are the individual frequencies that we're getting. So let me just scroll down. 46, 44, 38, 28. These are your frequency values for the given histogram. Remember, for this, you just need to know your frequency density formula, which is frequency over class width. You have your frequency density values. You can easily figure out the class width from the histogram as well. Use that, and then that will give you the frequency values. Then it says complete the table for y equals to 4 plus 2x minus x squared over 2. So they've given us the values of x. They only want us to find the y values for 2x values. So you just plug in the x value in the calculator. That's going to be y equals to 4 plus 2 times negative 2 minus negative 2 whole square over 2. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So where it's going to be negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. And then over here, y equals to 4 plus 2 times positive 6 minus 6 square over 2. 4 plus 12 is 16. Negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18. And that's going to give us a value of negative 2 again. So these are your missing y values. Now in the next part, they're asking us to plot these values on the grid below. The first point is negative 2 and negative 2. So that is over here. Negative 1 and 1.5. That's this one. Negative 1 and 1.5 is going to come over here. 0, 4 is over here. 1, 5.5 is going to be over here. 2, 6 is going to be here. 3, 5.5 is going to be over here. Then 4, 4 is this one. 5, 1.5 is this. And 6, negative 2 is this. So now we just connect the points. That is your graph. Then it says find the equation of the line of symmetry of the graph y equals to 4 plus 2x minus x squared over 2. Line of symmetry is always your x value. So as you can see, this is the line of symmetry. Because on the other side, we have again 5.5, 4, 1.5, and all -2 for y, and the same values over here. So x equals to 2 acts as your line of symmetry. It's always your x value when it's like a, vertical graph. If it's a horizontal graph, then it's y value depending on, how it's shaped. But in this case, it's the x value. Then it says on the grid, draw the line 3y equals to x plus 6 for -2 to 6. So 3y equals to x plus 6. The question is 3y equals to x plus 6. So if you put x equals to 0, y would equal to 2. And if you put y equals to 0, x would equal to -6. So we just plot these on the grid. x0, y2, that's over here. And y0, x is -6. We don't have that. So let's pick a value that we have over here. If we put x equals to +6, that's going to be 3y equals to 6 plus 6. 3y equals to 12, y equals to 4. Okay, so when x is 6, y is 4, so that's over here. Let's connect these two. This is our line. Then they're saying write down the x coordinates of the points of intersection of the graphs of the curve and the line. So x coordinates of the point of intersection. So x coordinates are coming over here and here. -0.95 and 4.2. These are the x coordinates that I'm getting for my graph. That's 0.95, 4.2. Then it says that we have a universal set where x is an integer from 1 to 15, and a is a multiple of 3, b is a factor of 30. Write down the elements of a. So all the multiples of 3 that are between 1 and 15 that are going to be part of the elements of a. So that's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. These are the multiples of 3 that are in set A. Then just complete the Venn diagram. So to complete the Venn diagram, we first list down the elements. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Factors of 30 are 1, 3, 5, 6, 10, 2, 15. So common elements are 3, 6, and 15. So 3, 6, and 15 come in the common area. So for A, we're left with 9 and 12. For B, we're left with 1, 2, 5, 10, and that's it. So now what is left in the universal set now? So 1, 2, 3 are gone. So 4, 5 is gone, 6 is gone, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14. These are the elements that will come outside because they're not a part of A or B. Then it says that we have to find the elements for A union B complement. So A union B complement, that's everything that's outside A and B. So that's 14, 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 13. So how many elements are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When it says find the smallest value of x. So for the smallest value of x that is a part of A union B complement, that's 4. 4 is the smallest one. So 4. Then it says find the number of A intersection B complement. A intersection B complement is going to be this. That is A intersection B complement. So we know that over here we had 9 and 12. So number of elements are just 2. That's your answer. Then it says solve y over 4 equals to 8. So this is a one-step linear equation. We just cross multiply 4 with 8, which is 32. And it says 3 minus 4x equals to 2x plus 12. So first we collect like terms on each side. We collect the variables on one side and the numbers on the other. So 3 minus 12 equals to 2x plus 4x. 3 minus 12 is negative 9. So 6x. Negative 9 over 6 is x, and that's going to be negative 3 over 2. Then it says w equals to 5x minus 6y. Find the value of w when x is 6.2 and y is negative 1.8. So we just substitute the value of x and w in the equation. 5 times 6.2 minus 6 times negative 1.8. That's going to leave us with a value of 41.8. Then rearrange the formula to make x the subject. So w equals to 5x minus 6y. We have to make x the subject. So first, let's take 6y to the other side. W plus 6y equals to 5x. We have to make x the subject, not 5x. So what we do next is we divide both sides with 5. We get rid of the 5 with x. So that leaves us with w plus 6y over 5 equals to x. That is your final answer. Then it says factorize 15y minus x squared minus 3xy plus 5x. So we're going to do factor by grouping. The first two terms and the last two terms are going to be split into two different groups. We factorize them separately first and then collectively. So between 15y and x squared, we have nothing in common. And between 3xy and 5x, we just have x in common. So as you can see, we can't factor them like this. So what we will do is we will rearrange them first and then factor by grouping. So we know that between 15y and 5x, we have 5 common. So I'm going to write 15y plus 5x and then write negative x squared minus 3xy. So now if we split this into two groups, this is one group and this is the other group. So we have 5 common over here. So 5 bracket 3y plus x. And over here we have negative x common. So it's going to be x plus 3y again. As you can see, both 5 and negative x have 3y plus x common. So we take x plus 3y common and write 5 minus x in the second bracket. So that is your final answer. Party says write as a single fraction in simplest form. So we have to simplify this algebraic fraction. So by now you should know this, that whenever we're adding or subtracting a fraction with unlike denominator, we have to make the denominator same first. So to make the denominator same, the first fraction gets multiplied by x plus 3, both the numerator and the denominator. Second fraction gets multiplied by x minus 3. And 1 would get multiplied with x plus 3 times x minus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 3. Now, if you notice, the denominators for each of these fractions are exactly the same, which is x plus 3 times x minus 3. So let's rewrite this entire thing over here. So make 3 fractions. 2 times x plus 3 over here, minus 4 times x minus 3 over here, and plus x plus 3 times x minus 3. Over here we have x plus 3 times x minus 3, x plus 3 times x minus 3, and x plus 3 times x minus 3. That's 2x plus 6. And I'm going to combine this as a collective fraction because we have the same denominator. So now we have the same denominator, we can easily rewrite the numerator by combining it. And denominator remains the same, which is x plus 3 times x minus 3. So 2x plus 6 minus 4x plus 12. We multiply negative 4 with x and negative 3. Then we expand x plus 3 times x minus 3. So if you notice this is very similar to our difference of perfect squares, where a square minus b square equals to a minus b times a plus b. So we can just rewrite this as x squared minus 9 instead of doing the entire expansion of the double bracket. So 2x minus 4x is negative 2x plus x squared comes as it is. 6 plus 12 is 18. 18 minus 9 is positive 9. Over, we can expand this as x squared minus 9 or even leave it as it is. Either way, it'll be correct. And over here, I would suggest rewriting this in ascending order. So x squared first, then negative 2x. So this is your final answer. Then it says the volume of a sphere is 4/3 by r cubed. The diagram shows a sphere inside the cube. The sphere touches all 6 faces of the cube, and the volume of the cube is 343 centimeter cube. Calculate the volume of the sphere. So they have told us that the volume of the cube is 343 centimeter cube. And if you remember, a cube has all square faces. So the dimensions are the same throughout. So if this is x, this is x, this is also x. All of these are the same. So let's use the volume to find the measurement of x. The volume of cube is x cube. So 343 equals to x cube. We take the cube root on both sides, and the cube root of 343 will give us 7. So 7 centimeters is the value of x. So now this is 7, this is 7, and this is 7. So if this entire length is 7, and the sphere touches all 6 faces of the cube, so that means 7 is our diameter. So which means the radius is going to be half of 7. Diameter is 7 centimeters. So radius is going to be 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5 centimeters. So we can easily find the volume of the sphere now because we have the radius, and that's the only unknown thing in the formula. So 4 over 3 pi times 3.5 cube. That is going to give us 179.5 centimeter cube. That is your volume of the sphere. Then it says solid A is mathematically similar to solid B. The volume of solid A is 540 centimeter cube, and its height is 15 centimeters. The volume of solid B is 1280 centimeter cube. Calculate the height of solid B. So when two solids are mathematically similar and we're dealing with volumes, you need to remember that the height of A divided by the height of B whole cube is the same as volume of A divided by volume of B. Basically, if you remember when we talked about similar shapes, the main thing is that one shape is enlarged to make another shape and they use a scale factor. That scale factor is the same for all measurements that are being enlarged. So if the shape is now a 3D shape instead of a 2D shape, so when we talk about the volumes, the ratio of the volume is the same as the scale factor being cubed. So HA over HB is basically the scale factor by which the shape is changing. So when you cube that scale factor, that gives us the ratio for the volume of shape A over volume of shape B. Over here, we have the volume of shape A. We have the height of shape A. We have the volume of shape B. We need to find the height of shape B. So it's going to be 15 over x whole cube equals to 540 over 1280. So let's first divide 540 by 1280. 15 over x cubed equals to 0.421875. Alternate method is that you can just take the cube root on both sides. So now we take the cube of 15. 15 cube is 3,375 over x cube equals to 0.421875. So 3,375 divided by 0.421875 equals to x cube. That is going to give us 8,000. Cube root that to find the value of x, and that's going to give us 20 centimeters. That's the height of solid A. So very simple, you just need to remember this main thing. If they were talking about the surface area, then you would square the ratio instead of cubing it. Then it says that the curved surface area of a cone is spiral. The diagram shows a solid formed by joining a cone to a cylinder. The cone and the cylinder each have radius 6.3 centimeters. The slant height of the cone is 8.7 centimeters, and the ratio of the height of the cone to the height of the cylinder is 2:3. We have to calculate the total surface area of the solid. So for this, we need to first figure out the height. So for the height, it says that the ratio of the height of the cone to height of the cylinder is 2:3. First, let's find the height of the cone using Pythagoras. Because if you notice, this is a right angle triangle. We have the hypotenuse, we have the base to find the height. So it's going to be 8.7 squared minus 6.3 squared equals to the height squared. This is the height. So 8.7 squared minus 6.3 squared is 36. Square root both sides, 6 centimeters is the value of h. Now, height of the cone is to height of the cylinder is 2:3. So if the cone is 6 That means we times 2 by 3 to get 6. So if we times 3 by 3, that's going to be 9. So this is 9 centimeters. This is 6 centimeters. Now that we figure out the cone and the cylinder height, for total surface area, for the cone, we just have the curved surface area because the base area is joined with the cylinder. So for cone, we'll just do pi RL. R is 6.3, L is 8.7. So that is going to give us 172.19 centimeters square. For the cylinder, we have one circular face, which is the base, and then we have the curved part. So pi r square plus 2 pi rh. That's the formula that we're following. So radius is again same, 6.3. And height is going to be 9. So let's calculate that. Pi times 6.3 squared. That's 124.69. And then we add 2 times pi times 6.3 times 9. We're getting 480.0. We're getting 480.95 over here. So total surface area would be 172.19 plus 480.95, and that's going to give us 653.14 centimeters square. Then it says ABCD is a parallelogram with sides A, B, B, C, C, D, and DA. A is the point -37, B is the point 25. Vector AD is given as -1, -6. Find the coordinates of point D. AD is going to be OD minus OA. So OD is going to be AD plus OA, which is basically going to be -1, -6 plus -37. Vector O is basically point A with respect to the origin. So that's basically coordinates of A. So we just replace OA with -37. So that's -4 and +1. Those are coordinates of point D. Let us find the magnitude of vector AD. So for magnitude of vector AD, we do square root of -1 squared plus -6 squared. So that's 1 plus 36 root 37, and that gives us 6.08. That is the magnitude of AD. Then find AC. So we have vector A. We don't have vector C. But we know that ABCD is a parallelogram with sides AB, BC, CD, and DA. So let's sketch that first. A, B, C, D. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, A. We have to find AC. So AC is basically this. So we do have AD, which is -1, -6. We can find AB and use that as DC because parallel, if two vectors are parallel, they're the same. So let's find AD first. AB would be OB minus OA, which is 2, 5 minus negative 3, 7. That's 5, and that's negative 2. AB is parallel to direction would be the same for here. DC. And direction would be the same over here as well. AB is parallel to DC. And AD was given as -1, -6. So DA would be +1 and +6. So to find AC, we're going to do AD plus DC. So AD is going to be -1, -6. DC is going to be 5, -2. That's going to be 4 and -8. This is your vector AC. So key point in this is that parallel vectors are the same and they're in the same direction as well. So if like the direction changes, then you will obviously change the sign, but parallel vectors will always be the same. Then says line L is the line perpendicular to AB that passes through the point D. Find the equation of line L. So line L is perpendicular to AB. First, let's write the coordinates of A and B. -3, 7, 2, 5. -3 and 7, B is 2, 5. So if line L is perpendicular to line AB and is passing through point D had the coordinates of, we found that one, -4 and 1. So you can easily use this information to find the equation of line L. When two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradients always equal to -1. So you find the gradient of AB first. Is going to be 5 minus 7 over 2 minus -3. 5 minus 7 is -2. 2 minus -3 is going to be 5. So -2. So -2 over 5. Gradient of line L would be 5 over 2y. So we use this equation, -2 over 5 times gradient of line L equals to -1. Gradient of line L would be -1 times 5 over -2, which is 5 over 2. Okay. So now that we have the gradient sorted for line L, we know that it passes through point D. So we use point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. As you can see, it's all step by step. First thing is to always find the slope. Even if you don't know how to calculate the question, just find the slope. You will get a mark. So you have to give as much information that is useful to the examiner as well. And you never know what might be relevant to the question, even if you're still struggling with understanding it. So y1 is 1, m is 5 over 2, and x1 is -4. So y minus 1 equals to 5 over 2 times x plus 4. Cross multiply. 2y minus 2 equals to 5x plus 20. 2y equals to 5x plus 22. And y would be 5 over 2x plus 22 over 2, which is 11. So this is your final equation for the line L in slope-intercept form. Very basic steps. Two main points, that for perpendicular lines, both the gradients multiply and equal to -1. So m1 times m2 will always equal to -1. In case you had parallel lines, in parallel lines, your gradients are the same. So m1 would equal to m2. So this was the first main thing. And second thing is when you have the point and the slope, always go for point slope form. You just have to substitute the value of the slope and the point, expand the bracket, simplify it, and make y the subject to convert it to slope intercept form. And that would give you the equation of the line that they're asking about. Then question 8 says ABCD is a field. AB equals to 320 meters. BC is 250 meters. CD is 132 meters. AD is 365 meters. And angle BCD is 90. Ray walks from A to B at an average speed of 1.6 meter per second. He then runs from B to C at an average speed of 2.8 meter per second. Calculate Ray's average speed from A to B to C. So he walks from A to B at an average speed of 1.6 meter per second. And then he runs from B to C at an average speed of 2.8 meter per second. We have to calculate Ray's average speed from A to B to C. So for that, we need to find the time that it takes him to go from A to B, then from B to C. So we know that average speed is distance over time. So time is basically distance over speed. So for A to B, we do 320 divided by 1.6. So 320 divided by 1.6 is going to give us 200 seconds. Then from B to C, time would be 250 divided by 2.8. So 250 divided by 2.8 is going to be 89.29 seconds. So total time would be 200 plus 89.29. That is 289.29 seconds. And average speed would now be total distance, which is 320 plus 250 divided by 289.29. So 320 plus 250, 570 divided by 289.29 is going to give us 1.97 meter per second. That is your average speed from A to B to C. So remember, you're not supposed to just add up 2.8 and 1.6 and you just say, okay, that's the average speed because, that's what's given the question. For average speed from one point to the other end point, they've clearly defined that we're going from A to B, then from B to C. So they have given us the distances, they have given us the separate speeds. But to find the total speed from A to B to C, the average speed, you first find the individual time it takes from A to B, then B to C, add that up, and then you find your total distance that is being covered from point A to point B to point C. Then divide those to get the average speed for that specific distance. Don't make the mistake of just adding 1.6 and 2.8. That's going to be wrong. Then it's saying the bearing of D from A is 243 degrees. Calculate the bearing of B from A. So D from A, this is 243. Remember, bearing is always measured in clockwise direction from the north of the point that they're talking about. So from the north of A, because bearing of D from A, so at A, we start measuring from the north and towards the line which connects the point D and A. They want us to find the bearing of B from A, if I'm not wrong, yeah. So bearing of B from A. So that's basically, this is what they want. So to calculate that, if you notice, if we just find this angle over here and subtract that from 243, that will give us the bearing of B from A. So to calculate this angle, first we need to find DB. because we have this right angle triangle over here. They have given us the two lengths. They want us to find the hypotenuse. So to find the hypotenuse, we'll use Pythagoras. So dB squared is going to be 132 squared plus 250 squared. That's going to give us 79,924. Square root both sides. dB would be 282.708 meters. So that is this length. Now, if you look at the triangle ADB, we can see that we have a non-right angle triangle. All three lengths are available now. And we need to find this angle. So whenever in a non-right angle triangle, all three lengths are present and they want us to find a missing angle, we use the cosine rule. So that's going to be cos of A equals to 365 squared plus 320 squared minus 282.708 squared divided by 2 times 365 times 320. Let's see what this equals to. 0.66659. For angle A, we find cos inverse of that. And that's going to give us 48.20. So now we want the bearing. So we subtract this from 243. So bearing is going to be 243 minus 480.20. That's 194.8 degrees. That is your final answer for the bearing of B from A. Question 9 says that ABD is a triangle, C is a point on BD, and E is a point on AD. AB is parallel to EC, and CD is equal to DE. Find the value of X and the value of Y. Okay, so this is parallel to this. So if this is 28, this is going to be 28 as well because the alternate angles are equal. So X would be 180 minus 54 minus 28 because I'm making ABE a triangle. So 180 minus 54 minus 28, that's giving us 98 for X. So if this is 98, this is 28, we can find this angle, angle CED, which would be 180 minus 28 minus 98, because it's a straight line. And angles on a straight line add up to 180. So 180 minus 28 minus 98. That's 54. So this is 54. So angle Y would be 180 minus twice of 54 because we can see that CD is equal to DE, which means it's an isosceles triangle. So 180 minus twice of 54 is 72 degrees, and that gives us the value of Y. So for these type of questions, you need to be familiar with your angles in parallel lines, angles in a straight line, and angles in triangles. Then it says that PQR is a triangle. P and R are points in a circle with center O. O is a point on PQ. QR is a tangent to the circle at R. QR is 12. And angle RPQ is 35. calculate the area of triangle PQR. So firstly, if arc is a tangent, that means OR is going to be at right angle with the tangent because your radius always makes a right angle with the tangent that is touching the circle. And this is 35 over here. This is also the radius, by the way. OP equals to OR, and they're both the radius. So that means this would also be 35, same lengths, same angles. So we can easily find this angle. Angle POR would be 180 minus 35 minus 35. That's going to give us 110. So if this is 110, once again straight lines, this would be 180 minus 110, 70 degrees. And this would be 20 degrees because 180 minus 90 minus 70 is 20. So a lot of information has been sorted. We have to find the area of the triangle PQR. So this entire triangle. So as you can see, we can find the length of OR using the triangle. Let me highlight this. OQR, if we use this, you can find the length of OR using Pythagoras. So we have, if we use this angle 20, so this is the adjacent, and this would be the opposite. So tan of 20 would be OR over 12. So 12 times tan of 20 is going to equal to OR, which is giving us 4.37 centimeters. Yes. So this is 4.37. This is also 4.37 because they're equal. Now, if you remember your non-right angle triangles, to find the area of a non-right angle triangle, we use the sine formula where we need two lengths and the angle between them. As you can see, we have two lengths, OP and OR now. We have the angle between them, which is 110. So area of OPR would be 1 over 2 times 4.37 squared times sine of 110. 1 over 2 sine, 1 over 2 times AB times sine of angle C. That is the formula that I'm referring to. So 4.37 squared times sine of 110 divided by 2. That gives us 8.97 centimeters square. Now for the other triangle, area of OPQ, that's 1 over 2 times 12 times 4.37. So 12 times 4.37 divided by 2, that's 26.22 centimeters square. So total area of PQR would be the sum of 26.22 plus 8.97, and that would equal 35.19 centimeters square. That's the area of the triangle. Since the bag contains red balls and green balls, the total number of balls in the bag is X. The number of green balls in the bag is 6 more than the number of red balls. Show that the fraction of the balls in the bag A that are red is X minus 6 over 2X. So if the total number of balls are X, and the number of green balls in the bag is 6 more than the number of red balls. So if I say that red is Y, green would be Y plus 6. Y plus 6 equals to X. 2y plus 6 equals to x. 2y is x minus 6 and y is x minus 6 over 2. So this is the number of red balls. For the fraction of the balls in the bag A, we will do x minus 6 over 2x because this is out of x. So that gives, when simplified, that gives us x minus 6 over 2x. This is just the number of red balls. This is fraction of red balls in the bag. There's a difference between the two. This is x minus 6 over 2 out of the total number. So that's why it's x minus 6 over 2x. And this is just x minus 6 over 2 because that's just the number of red balls. Then it says bag B contains red balls and green balls. The number of red balls in bag B is x. Number of green balls in bag B is 4 times the number of green balls in bag A. So in bag A, green was y plus 6. And y was found to be x minus 6 over 2x. Sorry. And y was found to be x minus 6 over 2. So green would be x minus 6 over 2 plus 6, which is x minus 6 plus 12 over 2, which is x plus 6 over 2. That's green. In bag B, the number of green balls in bag B is 4 times this. So x plus 6 over 2. That's 2 times x plus 6, which is 2x plus 12. Show that the fractions of the balls in bag B that are red is x over 3x plus 12. So if the number of red balls in bag B is x, total balls are going to be 2x plus 12 plus x, which is 3x plus 12. So fraction for red would be x, which is the number of red balls in bag B, over the total number of balls, which is 3x plus 12. That is your answer. Then it says x minus 6 over 2x equals to x over 3x plus 12. Show that x squared minus 6x minus 72 equals to 0. So we just cross multiply to get rid of the fraction and then convert this into a quadratic equation. So x minus 6 times 3x plus 12 equals to x times 2x. Expand the bracket, x gets multiplied with 3x plus 12. Negative 6 gets multiplied with 3x plus 12. That equals to 2x squared. 3x squared plus 12x minus 18x minus 72 equals to 2x squared. Bring everything on one side. So 3x squared minus 2x squared. 12x minus 18x is negative 6x minus 72 equals to 0. So that's x squared minus 6x squared. So that's x squared minus 6x minus 72 equals to 0 as the quadratic equation. And same as what's given the question as well. Then they're asking us to solve this by factorization. So we're going to use splitting the middle term. So factors of 72 are 12 and 6, 9 and 8, 2 and 16, and 3 and what's it called? 14. No, 24. 2024. So these are the factors of 72 times 1, obviously. So now we have to use that sort of factors which when added or subtracted gives us the middle term, which is 6. And as you can see, that's 12 and 6. So x squared minus 12x plus 6x minus 72 equals to 0. Now we use factor by grouping to further simplify this. Between x squared and 12x, we have x common. So x minus 12. Between 6x and 72, we have 6 common. Again, x minus 12. Between x and 6, we have x minus 12 common. And x plus 6 comes in the bracket. So one value of x is 12 and the other is negative 6. These are your answers. Then it says x is total number of balls in bag A. Use your answer to part D to find the number of green balls in the bag A. So part D gave us x equals to 12 and negative 6. X is the number of balls in bag A. Obviously, we cannot use negative 6 because the number of balls cannot be negative. So we have to find the number of green balls in bag A. So in bag A, it was y plus 6. And y was x minus 6 over 2. So if we substitute x equals to 12, 12 minus 6 over 2 plus 6, that's going to be 6 over 2 plus 6, 3 plus 6, and that is equal to 9. So we have 9 green balls in bag A. Question 11 says Mia has 25 shapes. She uses their properties to sort them into groups. The table shows the number of shapes in each group. So based on the table, it shows that 4 triangles have a line of symmetry and 5 don't have a line of symmetry, whereas 9 quadrilaterals have a line of symmetry and 7 don't. Mia takes one of the triangles at random, notes its properties, and replaces it. Find the probability that it has a line of symmetry. So for the line of symmetry, she's taking a triangle. So out of the 9 triangles, 4 do have a line of symmetry. So the probability is going to be 4 over 9. Once again, she's just talking about triangles. So our total sample is just going to focus on triangles. So 9 triangles in total, and out of the 9, 4 have a line of symmetry. So 4 over 9. Then Mia takes one of the 25 shapes at random now. Now she's talking about all of the shapes. Notes its properties and replaces it. She then takes a second shape at random, notes its properties and replaces it again. Find the probability that both shapes are quadrilaterals. So according to the question, Mia is taking one of the 25 shapes at random. She notes its properties and replaces it, and then she repeats the same thing. We have to find the probability that both shapes are quadrilaterals. So for quadrilaterals, we have one with line of symmetry and the other with no line of symmetry. So let's say she's picking the line of symmetry one first. So that's going to be 9 over 25. Then she picks the no line of symmetry, 7 over 25. Now, she can do the other way around as well. She can pick the no line of symmetry first and then the line of symmetry one. Another possibility is that she's picking both of them with line of symmetry. So that's 9 over 25 times 9 over 25. And the last possibility is that she's taking both with no line of symmetry. So that's 7 over 25 times 7 over 25. So if we add these up, that gives us 256 over 625. That is the probability of the both shapes being quadrilaterals. In such cases, remember, you have to figure out all of the possibilities that can take place depending on the information given. In our case, quadrilaterals had 2 categories, one with line of symmetry and the other with no line of symmetry. So if she chooses one with line of symmetry first and the next with no line of symmetry, then another way of doing that is she picks the no line of symmetry first and then the one line of symmetry. Apart from that, she can pick both with line of symmetry or she can pick both with no line of symmetry. So you have to keep these scenarios in mind, write them down separately, then find the probability for the given question. Then it's saying that Mia takes 3 of the 25 shapes at random without replacement. So find the probability that only one of the shapes is a triangle with line of symmetry. So now it's without replacement. and she's taking three shapes. So we have to see that only one of the shapes is a triangle with a line of symmetry. So one of the shapes is a triangle with a line of symmetry, so that's this. So if we begin with saying that she's picked the triangle with line of symmetry, so that's 4 over 25. So 4 shapes are out of the set now because they're with the line of symmetry, and we can only take one triangle with line of symmetry. So now out of the 21 triangles that are left, we take another shape. So out of the 21 remaining shapes, we use that. And since she's not replacing them now, the total number of shapes has reduced to 24. Now we take a shape from this. So out of the 21 shapes, we take another shape. So now we left with 20 shapes over here. And total number of shapes has been reduced to 23. Because once again, there is no replacement. So this process is being repeated 3 times. Because the question says that she has to take one triangle with line of symmetry each time. So she can take the triangle with line of symmetry in the middle. She can take the triangle with line of symmetry at the end. So all in all, there are 3 ways of doing this. So if we solve this, 4 times 21 times 20 times 3, 5,040 over here. And 25 times 24 times 23, 13,800 over here. We can definitely simplify this. So the zeros get cancelled out. And 504 divided by 2. And even actually by 3, let's do 3. So that's 168. And 1,380 divided by 3 is 460. This can be divided by 2 now. 168 divided by 2. 84. 460 divided by 2 is 230. Again divided by 2. 42. And that's going to be 115. That is our final probability.